Jay, I've got to be honest about this. I don't mean to brag, but our next guest played 10 years in the NBA, spent some time here. Fact of the matter is, he might have only had 8 or 9 years in his career, but late in his career, he paid a visit to Whitey Gleason's big man camp, and I really think that's one of the things that helped him last as long as he did in the NBA. It's Ryan Hollins. How are you, Rhino?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
We're doing fine. Thank you so much for joining us. I know.
Told him the jab step?
And the drop step. You know, okay. Never heard of it.
All right.
But yeah. Thank you, Ryan. I know this, you've been very busy, and I know that wasn't an easy game for you guys last night. How disappointing was it for you and the Rockets to come out, as Coach Udoka said, kind of flat in a Game 7?
Man, it was tough, and even more so because it was the Warriors and all the history that was there, dating back, and you just saw a lot of fight, and I think because of the spirit that we saw in the comeback efforts just to get to a Game 7, you felt a little more optimistic. But what's tough and what people have to realize is that, man, that was another first for a lot of our young guys. So games 1 and 2 were new. Game 3 and 4 were new, and Game 6, 5 and 6 were kind of, one and the same. But Game 7s are always different because they're win or go home for both teams, and the sense of urgency is there on both hands.
Ryan, you speaking on veteranship, speaking on experience, and I think that's something that the Rockets have. Some people try to exonerate the Rockets on, and a lot of people are kind of taking shots at Jalen Green and him not playing the best of his ability. What's your take on Jalen Green leaving this series more than heading into this series?
Man, he's got some growing to do. I don't think anybody denies that. He knows that he's got to be better, and I think in this offseason, he's going to go out and work on things and plays that can put him in positions where he can be more efficient in the game. And, that's something that he struggled to do. Golden State looked to take him out, and, Jalen's got sights that are much bigger than just being a role player, being, a part of the team. He wants to be the guy. So, he's going to have to put that work in. And, make no mistake, man, Golden State had a real focus to take him out. It's not like they just didn't shift their defense or didn't, have, respect for the things that he can do. Obviously, he had a huge game too. But I think, also, like, let's keep in mind, this is just part of why, we look at the superstars in the NBA and we say, man, these guys are legit because they see every defense and they're able to come through. But, obviously everything wasn't Jalen's fault, and Jalen at the end of the day wants to play better.
Yeah. Ryan Hollins with us, 10-year NBA veteran. He was a fan favorite here when he was with the Kings, and now he's a Rockets analyst. I got to ask, and I know we talk about him every time you're nice enough to come on, Amen Thompson, his future. I could swear he's better every time I see him, Ryan. That guy is incredible. It was unfortunate that he got hurt late last night.
Man, what you saw was his will to win. And what he did is that calf actually hampered him early in the year. He not only did he chase around Curry and do a bang-up job there, he became the Rockets offense, getting a stop and going out to run in transition. And he tried to do, honestly, everything he could and just really overexerted himself. And you kind of saw it. He landed funny.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a pop, but just, probably more of a strain. But he's he's probably the most unique player I've ever seen play the game of basketball. He doesn't have a comp. There's not, normally you can say, well, this guy plays like this, or he's got a little bit of Kobe, he's got a little bit of Michael or Magic in him. And Amen Thompson's just unique. And in my opinion, he was the defense player of the year. But a lot of people don't see the plays that he makes. And his ability to cover ground and, the instincts that he has, it's really phenomenal. And again, I don't think enough people see what he's able to do on the defensive end, man. He is unique, man.
Ryan, we're here in Sacramento. I will say we're a little jealous in the fact that it seems like you guys have a plethora of young talent. Jabari Smith is somebody we even have a conversation, and I think he would help not only us but a lot of people. How do you see the Rockets team? And I know this is fresh, this is new, 24 hours. Don't expect you to have your thumb on the 100% of the post, but you guys have a plethora of young talent. How do you think they're going to move forward next year?
The best thing is you have options. You have enough talent to where if you stick put with what you have, even though there's frustrations in the loss, the goal is that we saw the leap in year one with Udoka. We saw the leap year two. And if you keep the same group together, you can expect similar in year three. Young players, the goal about them is they get better. They get better. You get immediate results, and you're really able to move forward there. But at the end of the day, they do have the capital. They do have the assets where you can go after a Durant. You can go after, one of these big names that pops up, and you have the best package for any team that wants to move forward and wants to get younger. And then you have enough young talent where you can, lose some and keep some at the end of the day. So I think the best option in anywhere in life is to have options and not be pressed to feel like you have to go out and make a move at the end of the day. And Rafael Stone and everyone over there in the front office has done just a remarkable job.
Ron, I wanted to ask you about Şengün, and we know he's incredible. He's a great player. I don't know if he ran out of gas a little bit or if things got too physical. He didn't have a great game yesterday. And I'm not asking you to throw anybody under the bus. He's an outstanding player, and the Rockets, they'd be lost without him. But do you think the Warriors, did they defend him differently? Why did you think that he was not as effective yesterday as he had been at times earlier in the series?
Steve Kerr made it real simple. He wanted to stick Draymond to him, who was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year also, as much as he could. Mm-hmm. And Draymond stuck to Alp like white on rice. Even if he had to help in a pick and roll coverage, his assignment was essentially at the end of the day to get back to Alp. Mm-hmm. And that's what you saw. So, really not being able to get Draymond off and him not being able to solve that puzzle of Draymond Green, that's what you ended up seeing that kind of, put the frustration in. And then, a little bit of the game 7 jitters, man. He's young. That was not characteristic. And, it's tough, man. He's been lights out in game one and on. Don't get me wrong. He still got his strength, but it wasn't, for them to guard him in single coverage, you needed Alp to go off, and you needed him to have, he had to be in that 30-point range. You guard him one-on-one, he's too good. And just the fact that we're even saying he's too good to be guarded one-on-one by Draymond Green shows a lot. And obviously the excitement, because there's growing to do from him also.
Yeah.
Joined by Ryan Hollins, 10-year vet, of course, one of the voices that you hear on the Rockets television. By the way, Ryan, we haven't had the opportunity, or I should say I haven't had the opportunity. I really enjoyed your coverage this year. I really enjoy following you on social network and you keeping us abreast of the situation, even during the game.
Yeah,
I love that. I think other color analysts. Matter of fact, I need to get on Draper about doing that a little more, Whitey. I appreciate that because it does. It makes you feel like we're there, even though you may be clear across the country calling a game. So I appreciate that. Love Ime Udoka. I love the attitude he walks in. Press conferences. It's like he doesn't take anything from anybody. When it comes to the media, he's very stalwart on what he does and what he says and kind of what he means. Just your take, being around the league for a long time. Of course, you're in a different avenue of what you do, but is Ime a player's coach? Is he just kind of highly respected by that team, or is that team so young that he's got their attention? What's your take on Ime and how he handles his situation down there in Houston?
Yeah, he's unbelievable. By far, I believe he's the best coach in the league. You can put him pound for pound with anybody, and his track record has shown it. The way that he's able to turn teams around, I truly believe he's the coach of the year. We have him. Mark Dagnall did a great job last year and got it with OKC, and you saw their growth, and no one can question that. Houston being a second in the West, nobody saw that as stacked as the conference is. But the thing about Ime, man, is he's transparent. He's big. He commands respect. You don't have to question where you stand with him. And I'll be honest, man, we have a bunch of players that they're young, but they don't fit. It's not like, you have a certain style And Ime took our players and said, you're going to fit within, a defensive tough culture, and that's who we're going to be. And our guys really molded to it. And you turn a guy like Alprin Sengun in the Western Conference into a first-time All-Star. A number of guys had career highs, but that just speaks to him being intense, being accountable with the guys. And I'm telling you, man, there were times where maybe the team took a loss. We'd be on the team plane. He'd be calling the guy up to the team plane and watching film. And like, there was there was never a moment where he was like, oh, we won 5 out of the last 7. We're good enough. Like, it had to look a certain way. And the accountability was off the charts, man. And our guys truly responded to it. And, honestly, some tough love too, man. In some ways you could say some of our guys went to college with Ime, and it ended up paying off.
Yeah. We'll let you go on this one. Ryan Hollins with us. Appreciate your time as always. I know that you were with the Clippers when Steve Kerr and Splash Brothers really came to the fore. You witnessed that. You played against them. And now here they are, 10, 11 years later, and they're still playing at a high level. Some of the people have changed, but it's still Steph and Kerr and Draymond. How amazing is that to you, someone who competed against them, and now you're watching Steph still play after all these years at such a high level?
It's crazy, and I don't think he gets the respect that he gets. For one, Steph, I've never seen a defense like when I say the way that you defend him just to take away the 3 ball, it's ridiculous. You pick him up since right when he crosses half court, and you have to blitz and trap and switch every screen that he's involved in, man. When we talk about great players, Whitey, great players have gravity. Like Shaquille O'Neal, you had to throw 4 guys on the block. You had to sign 7-footers the day before to be able to guard them. Like Steph Curry has gravity. You can feel him running around the court, and Houston did an unbelievable job just guarding him. And that's what he has. And you can truly see it, man, his greatness. And it doesn't always show up in the stat sheet, but I'm telling you, the amount of attention that he takes. And then Draymond's IQ, he's not as crazy as you think he is, man. He feels when the game is about to sway. He goes out, and it's not everybody's cup of tea, but he's willing to do anything to win. Literally. And we'll leave it at that, fellas. He'll do anything to win. He's going to push the lines, and he's extremely intelligent. There's no accident. Draymond is 100% aware of what he's doing, man. And he's a guy who's had to work for everything he has.
Ryan, thank you. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. Hope to talk to you soon. Enjoy your off season.
Man, I better talk to you soon, Whitey. Come on, man.
All right. You got it. Work on that hook, that Nerf hook shot with the left hand now.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Both hands. Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
All right, guys.
We'll see you later. The great Ryan Hollins. Yeah. Maybe.